Rheology. Introduction. Rho means to flow and logos means science. Rheology is the study of the flow and deformation of matter under stress. Definition of rheology. Rheology is the science or physics that concerns with the flow of liquids and the deformation of solids. Study of flow properties of liquids is important for a pharmacist working in the manufacturing of several dosage forms such as simple liquids, gels, ointments, creams, and pastes. These systems change their flow behavior when exposed to different conditions, different stress conditions. Importance and fundamentals of rheology. Formul Formulation. Rheology is important and plays major role in the formulation of medicinal and cosmetic creams, pastes, and lotions. It also plays major role in the formulation of emulsions, suspensions, suppositories, and tablet coating, in fluidity of solutions for injection, in mixing and flow of materials, their packaging into the containers, their removal prior to use, the pouring from the bottle. Extrusion of a paste from a tube, passage of the liquid to a syringe needle. It also influences the choice of processing equipments in the pharmaceutical manufacturing. Rheology can affect the patient's acceptability of the product, physical stability, biologic availability, absorption rate of drugs in the gastrointestinal tract. Rheology also plays major role in the manufacturing of dosage forms, that is, material undergo process such as mixing, flowing through pipes, filling into the containers, etc. Flow related changes influence the selection of mixing equipment. Handling of drugs for administration, the syringeability of the medicines, the pouring of the liquids from containers, extrusion of ointment from tubes, all depend on the changes in flow behavior of dosage form and hence rheological properties. Newton's law. According to Newton's law, higher the viscosity of a liquid, the greater is the force per unit area required to produce a certain rate of shear. Here it is the stationary plate and the liquid consisting of infinite simmer layers. When we apply the shear force at the top of the liquid, at the top layer of the liquid, then it move with the velocity v, and the velocity of the layer which is moving it directly proportional to the distance from the stationary plate. So as the distance from the stationary bottom layer increases, the velocity also increases, and as the distance from the stationary plate decreases, velocity decreases. So rate of shear is directly proportional to the shearing stress, because shearing stress at the layer which are at the top are experiencing higher shearing force or stress, hence they are moving with the higher rate of shear or with higher velocity. So F is equal to eta into G, where F represents shearing stress and G represents rate of shear. F is equal to F dash upon A, that is F dash is the force per unit and this is the area. So shearing stress F is equal to force per unit area. G, that is rate of shear, it is equal to dV upon dr. So this is the difference in velocity divided by the difference in the distance, and eta is the viscosity. So this represents Newton's law, this equation, that is F is equal to eta into G. So eta is also called as viscosity coefficient or simply viscosity. Types of flow. Newtonian flow. A Newtonian flow, named for the scientist Isaac Newton, is a fluid whose stress versus rate of shear curve is linear and passes through the origin. The constant of proportionality is also known as viscosity. So the fluid or liquids which follow Newton's law of flow are known as Newtonian fluid, and the flow is known as Newtonian flow. The examples of the liquids which follow Newtonian's law of flow are water, chloroform, castor oil, and ethanol. Viscosity, it is defined as the resistance to the flow. It is represented by the symbol eta and is the coefficient of viscosity and is calculated using the formula eta is equal to F upon G, where F represents shearing stress, that is equal to F dash upon A, and G represents rate of shear, that is dV by dr. The unit of viscosity is poise, centipoise or dyne second per centimeter square. Non-Newtonian flow. A non-Newtonian flow is defined as one for which the relation between F and G is not linear. In other words, when the shear rate is varied, the shear stress is not varied in the same proportion. The viscosity of such system thus varies as the shearing stress varies. It can be seen in liquids and in solid heterogeneous dispersions such as emulsion, suspensions, colloids, and ointments. Non-Newtonian systems are classified as plastic flow, pseudoplastic flow, and dilatant flow. Plastic flow, in which curl does not pass through origin, the substance behaves initially as elastic body and it fails to flow when less amount of stress is applied. An increase in the stress leads to non-linear increase in shear rate, but after that the curve is linear. The shearing stress which is applied initially is used to break the bonds between the material and then material starts to flow. The linear portion extrapolated intersects the x-axis at the point is called as yield value. The shearing stress which is used to make the material flow is known as yield value. Plastic flow shows Newtonian flow above the yield value. The curve represents plastic flow and such materials are called as Bingham bodies. Bingham bodies does not flow until the shearing stress is corresponding to the yield value exceeded. So, yield value is an important property of certain dispersions. The reciprocal of mobility is plastic viscosity. The viscosity of plastic material is represented with the symbol U and is known as plastic viscosity, and mobility is the reciprocal of the plastic viscosity. Examples of the material which follows plastic flow are zinc oxide in mineral oil, certain pastes, paints, and ointments. Plastic flow explained that flocculated particles in concentrated suspensions, ointments, pastes, and gels. So flocculated suspensions, they obey plastic flow. So these are the flocculated particles. This is when the yield value shearing stress exceeded to yield value is applied individual particles. So it increases stress and particles tends to flow. This curve represents plastic flow. So initially the shearing stress which is applied is utilized to break down the bonds between the material, and then when the yield value exceeds when the shearing stress exceeded the yield value, then here the material starts to flow, and at certain shearing stress it follows the linear curve. So shearing stress versus rate of shear, and this figure represents the plastic flow. The slope of this is equal to mobility, and this when this curve is extrapolated to x-axis, this value represents the yield value denoted by symbol small f. The equation describing plastic flow is U, that is plastic viscosity is equal to F minus F upon G, where capital F represents shearing stress, small f represents yield value, and capital G represents rate of shear. Pseudoplastic flow. Many pharmaceutical products such as liquid dispersion of natural and synthetic polymers or gums show pseudoplastic flow. Example, tragacanth in water, sodium alginate in water, methyl cellulose dispersion in water, sodium carboxymethyl cellulose dispersion in water. With increase in the shearing stress, thus disarranged molecules orient themselves in the direction of flow, thus reducing friction and allows greater rate of shear at each shearing stress. Some of the solvent associated till will be released, resulting in decreased viscosity. This type of flow behavior is called as shear thinning system because with increase in rate of shear, there is decrease in viscosity. This graph represents pseudoplastic flow. So the plot is drawn shearing stress versus rate of shear. So such type of curve is called pseudoplastic flow, in which curve is passing from origin, zero shear stress, so no yield value is obtained. As shear stress increases, shear rate increases but not linear. Pseudoplastic flow can be explained by long chain molecules of polymers. So these are polymer long chain with water molecules. When stress is applied, polymer and water molecules align on direction of force in storage condition arranged randomly in dispersion. On applying shearing stress, molecules arrange long axis in the direction of force applied. This stress reduces internal resistance and solvent molecules released from polymer molecules. Then reduce the concentration and size of molecules, which results into decreasing viscosity. The exponential equation shows this flow for pseudoplastic flow. F raised to capital N is equal to eta into G, where N is the exponent and eta is the viscosity coefficient. In case of pseudoplastic flow, capital N is greater than 1. So more the value of N, that is greater than 1, greater the pseudoplastic flow of material. If N is equal to 1, then the flow is Newtonian. Taking log on both sides, that is N log F is equal to log eta plus log G. On rearrangement, we get log G is equal to N log F minus log eta. This equation gives straight line. Dilatant flow. Certain suspensions with high percent of dispersed solid shows an increase in resistance to flow with increase in rate of shear. Such system increase in volume when sheared. Such systems called as dilatant flow. Also called as shear thickening system, that is when stress is removed, dilatant system return to its original position. So with increase in rate of shear, viscosity increases, hence called shear thickening systems. With increase in rate of shear, there is increase in volume, hence called dilatant system. This graph represents dilatant flow. In this graph, curve is passing from origin, that is zero shear stress, so no yield value in case of dilatant flow also. Non-linear increase in rate of shear, increase resistance to flow on increased rate of shear. In this figure, particles are closely packed with less void spaces. Also, amount of vehicle is sufficient to fill the void volume. At rest, closed pack, less void volume and sufficient vehicle and low consistency. When rate of shear is increased, this is converted into the open packed, high void volume, insufficient vehicle and high consistency. This leads particles to move relative to one another at low rate of shear. So therefore dilatant suspension can be poured from bottle because in this condition it is fluid. When stress is increased, the particles show the open packing and bulk of system, that is void volume, increases. But the amount of vehicle is insufficient to fill this void space. Thus particles are not wetted or lubricated and develop resistance to flow. Finally, system shows the paste-like consistency. Because of this type of behavior, the dilatant suspension can be processed by high-speed mixers, blenders, or mills. The exponential equation shows this flow. So when n, capital N is less than 1 and decrease as the dilatancy increase. So in case of dilatant flow, capital N is less than 1. In case of Newtonian flow, capital N is equal to 1, and for pseudoplastic system, capital N is greater than 1. Thixotropy, that is gel to sol to gel conversion. Thixotropy is defined as an isothermal and comparatively slow recovery on standing of material of a consistency which lost through shearing. It is a shear thinning system. When agitated and kept aside, it is expected to return its original state of fluidity, but takes longer time to recover compared to the time taken for agitation. Thixotropic behavior can be shown by plastic and pseudoplastic systems. Thixotropy concept, that is particle-particle interaction. Thixotropy means gel to sol to gel transformation. Means at rest, that is on storage, it is in the form of gel. So high consistency or high viscosity, so that is gel state. So when shear is applied, contact break down and low consistency and low viscosity, so it is converted into the sol state. Again, when the stress is removed, particles contacts due to Brownian motion, and due to this, again it is converted into the high consistency and high viscosity, and it is converted into the gel state. Means here it is at the rest or in the storage condition. When stress is applied, so this is the rapid process, it is converted rapidly into the sol. But again, when the stress is removed, it takes long time to convert into the gel. So it is the slow process. So gel to sol and sol to gel conversion or transformation is known as thixotropic behavior. The rheogram of thixotropic material depends on rate at which shear increase or decrease and the length of time during which sample is subjected to any one rate of shear. The thixotropic phenomenon can be observed by constructing consistency curve. So this curve represents pseudoplastic system and this represents plastic system. From the graph, up curve AB is obtained up to maximum point B when the rate of shear is increased. If the rate of shear is reduced at the point B, then down curve is obtained. In non-Newtonian system, the down curve is displaced to left of the up curve. So up curve is at the right and down curve is at the left. In this graph, the material has low consistency at any rate of shear on down curve as compared to the up curve. Finally, thixotropic curves constructed for pseudoplastic systems. In Newtonian system, down curve is superimposed with the up curve. Antithixotropy, also known as negative thixotropy. Antithixotropy represents an increase in consistency, that is high viscosity, rather than decrease in consistency in the down curve. The increase in thickness or resistance to flow with increased time of shear observed for magnesia magma. Magnesia magma shows antithixotropic type of behavior. Antithixotropy is flocculated system containing low solid content, that is 1 to 10%, whereas dilatant system is deflocculated system contains high solid content, that is greater than 50%. In case of antithixotropic material, at rest, individual particles are with low viscosity. When shear stress is applied or rate of shear increases, particle collision and contacts are more, and this results into the high viscosity. Flocks contacts break individual particles and this results into the low viscosity. So at rest it is sol, then on application of shear it is converted into the gel and again then into the sol. So Soul to Gel to Soul transformation is called as antithexotropic behavior. So in antithexotropic behavior, when the shear stress is applied and then rate of shear increases and decreases, so the up curve is left to that of the down curve, exactly opposite to the thexotropic behavior. So from the rheogram, it is observed that when magnesium magma was alternatively sheared at increasing and decreasing rate of shear, magma got thick continuously. So here at the up curve there is decreased viscosity, whereas in down curve there is increased viscosity, and finally reach the equilibrium state. So when we increase the rate of shear up to the point A and then decrease, again we increase the rate of shear and decrease, again increase, decrease, and again increase. At this point, when we decrease the rate of shear, there is no right down curve, it is superimposable with the up curve. So this is the equilibrium state in which further cycling of increasing and decreasing rate of shear no longer increases the consistency of material. The equilibrium state where gel was found. When allowed to stand, material return to sole-like property. Rhopexy. Rhopexy is a phenomenon in which a sole forms a gel more readily when shaken or sheared, and then when allowed to form the gel while the material is kept at rest. Example, magnesia magma clay suspension. In rhopectic system, the gel is the equilibrium state, whereas in antithexotropic system, the sole is the equilibrium state. Measurement of thixotropy. The most apparent characteristic of thixotropic system is the hysteresis loop formed by up curve and down curves of the rheogram. The area of hysteresis loop has been used to measure the thixotropic breakdown and can be obtained by means of planimeter. With plastic or Bingham bodies, two approaches are used to estimate the degree of thixotropy. The first approach is to determine structural breakdown with time at constant rate of shear, and the second approach is to determine structural breakdown due to increasing shear stress.